All right, the Budget and Finance Committee is in session. Today is August 8th. I'd like to welcome my colleagues, Mr. Bonner and Mr. Englander. We're ready to begin. We'll begin first with public comment. I'd like to call Mr. Spindler to the table. Mr. Spindler's not in the room. Mr. Herman, please. You have 5 minutes.
Oh, they called it.
Start his time, please. No, I called you, Mr. Herman. Have a seat, please. If there's any noise other than...
Right. Now that I'm on this commission here
Silence, please.
to speak on the
Silence,
budget.
please. Mr. Herman, be quiet.
No, you told me I
No,
my
I
turn.
told you now to be quiet.
Oh, you can start my
If there's
time?
anything else other than audible words from either of you, you'll be asked to leave the meeting. Mr. Herman, go ahead.
On item 1, we have a condition here called a recess of closed session due to an auto accident in CD5. This involves a 54-956 Ralph M. Brown Act to confer the legal counsel action similar to Jose Huizar's DUI on item 1. Now going to item 2. In CD14, item number 16-0792, Carlos Estuardo Salazar involved in a vehicle versus pedestrian accident. How many goddamn times have we told you about these accidents? Do something about it. Now I'm going into item number 4 regarding CD5. Kimberly Carlson versus the City of Los Angeles versus a trip and fall incident similar to mine. You see, when you don't follow Brandenburg versus Sacramento, when you don't bother to follow Wiltz versus Los Angeles, you have these cases. These are actual cases involving slip and falls that you bamboozled because you don't want to fix our sidewalk and streets and infrastructure for programmatic access, for the record. And then going into item number 6, the city attorney's report relative to retention and outside counsel on a contingency. No, you should pay these outside attorneys less. The same way you're overpaying that knucklehead, what's his name, Hugo Rossiter, R-O-S-S-I-T-T-E-R, the TMU man, the temporary restraining order man, because we're overpaying these outside city attorneys for bullshit work they do under 42 U.S.C. 1983 under the Ralph M. Brown Act 54950.5. Then I go now to item number 9, again, a motion by Huizar, a transit authority metro allocation of reimbursement for the department city planning staff costs. No, don't spend money on them. Spend money on our community. Update us with, like Mr. Bonin would say, public transportation. We need more bicycles for hit and runs. We need more taxis that kill people on a hit and run. The same way, unfortunately, it was sad, and I'm sure Mr. Englander can concur that when Judge Ferguson's son was killed on a hit and run accident, had there been some rail authority reimbursement involved to pay for some of these programmatic access issues, this gentleman, Mr. Dean Ferguson's son, wouldn't have been on a highway and gotten killed. And so, you see, do I still have general public comment now, sir?
Go right ahead with general public comment. Or
Fucking A, that's what I like to hear. General public comment. Brandenburg versus Ohio, Whitney versus California, and Dennis the Menace, U.S. What the fuck's wrong with you, Paul Krikorian, trying to censor people in public meetings? We need more advocates to advocate on real issues that involve our transparency to public government issues. Otherwise, we continue to have slip and falls, Wiltz versus Los Angeles, Herman versus Los Angeles, Wayne Spindler, for the record, versus Los Angeles, in incidents involving nothing other than participation in public meetings. Such great advocacy by lawyers who get involved to support the public's interest on public matters. You see, Englander never cared. That's why he came in 5th place as the 5th place biggest loser. And when we go to the Department of LAPD, I gotta mention the 5th place loser can't look me in the face because he's too busy playing Pokemon on that computer. Look at him. Look at him. Do you see that, Herman? I see him. Do you see that? Hey, now, in conclusion, the end of the story is this. Stop threatening people for participation under the TMU. Stop interrupting people's lives with temporary restraining orders, you dumbasses. The same way Mitchell Farrell, that dumbass, learned his lesson under 42 U.S.C. 1983, Michael Hunt versus Los Angeles. Stop fucking with people, and more so stop fucking with public interest and participation under Title 2 and 3.
Jay Handel, please come on up. General public comment.
Mr. Chair.
I only need a minute. I can't top it, sorry. Jay Handel, I'm here today reintroducing myself as the co-chair of the Budget Advocates for this holiday fun season of budget and finance. And I bring today our first board resolution that we passed yesterday unanimously. That board resolution is to ask this committee, the City Council, and the Mayor to work with the owner of the LA Rams based on the police protection that they're asking for, based on the $2 million approximate that what this city will have to pay that we shouldn't have to pay, and based on the fact that officers will be taken off of patrol, but will be taken out of other areas like detectives, Metro, and other necessary services. And if it affects their deployment period, it means we're going to lose, or potentially lose, those services on the days they should be working. So I have a resolution here I'll give to everybody, and you guys can pass it around, and I suggest that you spray the microphone. Thank you.
Mr. Spindler? Oh, thank you. 5 minutes.
So I noticed that Mr. Handel noted that the microphone should be sprayed. They just can't get their goddamn licks in, can they? Your city just cannot get enough bullshit. You just can't stop harassing people. And today we have the Jews that are asking for their money back on number 11. Finally, they have come out of the shadows. Lewitt, Hackman, Shapiro, Marshall, and Harlan are asking for their $52,079 back. They're tired of waiting. These good Jewish people have been waiting for you and the mayor, who are Jewish, and that 5th place finisher to give them back their $52,000. And they keep asking you, can I have my $52,000? And then they go, what? Who wants to talk about this shit? Talk to the rabbi. So they go to the rabbi, and they make their donation, and they still don't get their $52,079 fucking dollars back. So they came today, give them back their money. Item 11, I'm asking for a unanimous vote. And then we go to number 12, Total Family Enterprises, $56,743.29. Finally, thank you, Tuttle. Thank you for realizing that the city rips off every legitimate business. Tuttle is an example of whistleblowers in action. Thank you, Tuttle. Then we have investment reports for the May 2016. You are investing yourself in many things. You're investing yourself in criminal conspiracies. You're investing yourself in Englander, Kanabi, and Allen. You're investing yourself in candidates that finish 5th out of 7 candidates. You're investing in shit. You're investing in losers. Stop investing in L.A. De-invest from L.A. Go to Inglewood. That's where the Rams are. That's where Mayor Butts is. Invest in Inglewood, the future. For the record, that was a text from me. I'll be right there. Now, we get this memorandum of standing with the Metro. $500,000 in reimbursement. Reimbursement for 255. The high-speed rail. There isn't going to be a high-speed rail. The fucking train to nowhere is never going to be built. That's why we have Sacramento people that came to LA to raid our coffers. They want to make the high-speed rail. Jerry Brown will never ride that train, neither will you. Now, we get to our good friends in Kern. I know a lot of people in Kern and Bakersfield. They talk about this shit. They talk about this a lot, that this litigation over this biosolid shit. Outside counsel, Beveridge and Diamond, and the law offices of Michael J. Lampe in connection with Kern. You keep trying to get outside counsel to keep fucking Kern County. But Kern County understands they don't want your biosolids. Stop sending your compressed shit to put in their fields for growing corn. Corn does not grow from feces. Everybody knows that in Kern. Vote no. No more outside counsel. And finally, we get 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plaintiff's attorneys coming forward, more whistleblowers. Nicholas Loeb, thank you for suing the city on number 1. Mr. Carlos Estuardo Salazar, thank you for suing the city, these scumbags. Then we get Maria Guadalupe Molina, good, thank you for suing the city. And then Kimberly Carson, thank you for suing the city because these people do not maintain safe streets and safe highways, and that's why they have to be injured like they are. And these attorneys for the city keep denying liability. Concede liability and mediate the case on damages. You'd save 50% on your legal fees. Stop spending $44 million on outside counsel in each fiscal year. And then we get to more examples of bullshit, which is this Detective Parker and making him go to the Ethics Commission and trying to fire him for releasing an audio tape showing he's not a racist cop. You took him in the Ethics Commission for a fine of $10,000 for giving KFI, John and Ken, listen to him every day, 2 to 5. He gave him the tape, showed that Django Unchained actress was full of shit, it was not a racist stop. You're persecuting him, he's going to sue you in federal court, and you're going to pay him just like Detective Lyda. Fuck you.
Joanne Ivana Garb.
Good afternoon, Joanne Yvanek Garb, West Hills Neighborhood Council, but also budget advocate for Southwest San Fernando Valley. And now vice co-chair for outreach. I visited almost all your offices today to speak to your communications director to support the budget advocates and your newsletters and support our survey. I just want to act as a backup to Jay Handel's request that the Rams be billed for the $2 million for the police department to provide security for the Rams football games. That is something that they should be paying. Everybody else pays for theirs, so they should be paying for theirs. But also, I have to say, I am appalled at some people's behaviors and the language that was being used. It was extremely offensive to me as an individual. So that's my say.
Quiet. Members, items 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 would have been appropriate for consent consideration, but for the public cards, are there any questions or comments on any of those items? Seeing none, all of those items are approved. The recommendations are approved. That brings us to closed session. I'd like to ask everyone who's not here for closed session items to please leave the room. Does the city attorney have a preference on priority? We have- All right, there being no other action before the committee, we are adjourned.